2 examples in a row without a fundraising ask. Don't worry, we're about to correct that with Alison, who's on next. I'm going to talk to you about the idea that she wished she'd thought of that.
Thank you. Am I not on? Oh, I am on. Right. I've actually got a video to start off with, but the idea that I wish I'd thought of is a campaign that raised awareness of prostate cancer and brought a much-loved television personality back to life. Can you roll the video? Do you have sound?
Gosh, 4 years already. Doesn't time fly? I wanted to die like my father, quietly in his sleep. Not screaming, terrified like his passengers. The man's accident-prone. I can still hear the screams. What killed me kills 1 man per hour in Britain. That's even more than my wife's cooking. Let's face it, as a comedian, I died many deaths. Prostate cancer, I don't recommend. I'd have paid good money to stay out of here. What's it worth to you?
Right, so I think when I was thinking about what made this campaign stand out to me, when I was kind of asked to join, I wish I thought of that. I actually was surprised that there were 3 things that came up, 3 themes. Like the accessibility, the authenticity, and the action. So the accessibility, when I think of celebrity campaigns, I have to admit I'm not usually the biggest fan. I always think of people giving to people, and I know that we spend a lot of time and energy chasing these famous names. But actually, the most effective fundraising appeals I find are often, like as Ruben mentioned, from the beneficiaries or from the people who are touched by the work. But what I liked about this was the celebrity that they chose isn't the George Clooney's and the Angelina Jolie's, these people that I can't relate to. It's actually somebody that, even as an American, that I actually find quite relatable, and that so many people have grown up and spent years seeing this personality on TV. So it isn't the fact that Bob Monkhouse was famous, it was just the fact that everybody felt like they knew him. He was just a person, and he was a person who lived and died with prostate cancer. And that leads on to the authenticity of the ad, which actually I think Alan mentioned already. But I found that by including all the jokes and the humor, as cringeworthy as it may be, it was authentic to who Bob Monkhouse was in his life. And even in the months preceding his death, he was giving interviews that actually made even the most veteran interviewers really uncomfortable, because he was joking about his cancer, but he was talking about it. So actually, to have the campaign capture that spirit and that sense of humor really made it authentic to who he was and who we as viewers thought he was. Sorry, there we go. This is the rest of the campaign. But also, alongside the humor, though, there's also some really meaty, gritty human emotion. I mean, there's not much more to the human predicament besides a man standing over his own grave and saying, I wish this didn't happen the way that it did. And I think it deals with the pain and the suffering. As a comedian, I've died many deaths. Prostate cancer, I wouldn't recommend. It's very real. It deals with the cancer. It deals with the issue and the emotion. And I think there is that sense of regret. There's that sense of if only that's quite real and quite poignant. And then finally, I'm a direct marketer. I'm a fundraiser. I love a call to action. So I love the fact that even though this was actually primarily an awareness campaign, they did have the call to action. They did have the line about give a few bob, and they did make it a fundraising appeal as well. And I think that it's very easy to think of the two as being distinct, but actually they go hand in hand. And I think it's very important that when they presented the problem, they were able to also present a solution and involve people in that solution by donating. So actually, I was surprised because I thought what was innovative about it was the fact that they took a comedian who'd been dead for 4 years and used him in a campaign. But actually, that wasn't what was the most innovative or inspiring aspect of the campaign when I really thought about it. It was just the fact that it was a real story with a real person and that they kept true to that person. And I say person rather than celebrity because, again, I think that we tend to treat celebrities slightly differently. But actually, at the end of the day, they are just people and they have stories to tell, and they can help us tell our charity stories as well. So Ken mentioned at the beginning about borrowing the ideas, and I don't think that if all of us ran out today and found recently deceased celebrities, that that's the answer. But I think that if we find celebrities who actually understand and have a story to tell about our cause, it's not always easy, and it doesn't always have to be celebrities. If we can find somebody that people can relate to, that can tell that story, that's what actually made this campaign so inspiring. And that's why I wish I had thought of it. Thank you.